Hello and welcome to the Card Deck Creator interview series with me, Ayesha Hilton. Today I'm very excited. I've got Sara Miles all the way from the US and we're talking about her gorgeous deck called the Divine Darling Affirmation Deck. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
And where are you joining us from again? I've actually forgotten where you live.
Yeah, I'm in California. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, beautiful. My son's actually going to California in February, so I'm super jealous. So,
well, maybe you'll get to come visit.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So tell me, so your deck's called the Divine Darling Affirmation Deck, and just tell me, how did you come up with the concept for your deck?
Yeah, so the Divine Darling started as the concept is really that we are all one, right? Like all of us are one. So originally the intent was that it was going to be the exact same girl on all the cards with just like different skin tone color and different hair color, excuse me. But as we started working, the artist and myself, it just ended up morphing a little bit. So, each card doesn't exactly look like the exact same girl, which is fine. But really the original premise, and it still is the same premise, that we are all one. We're connected. In the title Divine Darling, I call my friends darling, and we are all divine. So that's how the name came about.
I think it's a very sweet endearment. Do you have your deck handy there?
I do.
So
actually,
maybe show us, and that will help people. I love the box and I love the design. Isn't it gorgeous? Like, just gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was definitely what's the expression? Effort of love.
Yeah.
Can I call it that? Creating it, because it took many months to create it, but definitely worth it. I worked with a young artist, lovely artist. She's actually at art school now. She went to university.
Oh, wow.
Because she's a fantastic artist. Yeah. So, we created, it's 40 cards. It's 42 altogether, but one card explains the importance of subconscious. So for me, it's really important to get the message out to the next generation of young women, really the importance of our subconscious and how we have the ability to manifest through the power of our beliefs, and that we have the power to choose what it is that we want to believe. So rather than just having the deck of, beautiful illustrations and empowering affirmations, I really wanted to impress upon, the young lady, what exactly the importance of subconscious is in reprogramming it. So I have a card on that. Then I have another card on tips and tricks and best practices, just so they, really, the best practice when reading an affirmation is early in the morning, when, maybe your mind isn't yet in its analytical mode. It's still relaxed and open to suggestions. So things like that. And, maybe posting it on your bedside and having it readily available.
Beautiful. Can you show us some cards?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's one. And
it's always hard to get on Zoom. Yeah.
I know. This one says, I'll read it to you. I make choices that are for my highest good.
Beautiful.
And it's a girl, enjoying the bath and some self-care. That's one example. Here's another card. I shine my spirit and light on those around me.
Oh, yep.
A beautiful redhead with a white dress out in the forest under the moonlight. Here's a lovely young girl with short hair. I love the woman I am becoming. So I really did try to get a myriad of different looks and aesthetics. Here's one of my favorites. I want for myself what I want for others: love, prosperity, health, and joy.
Oh,
the colors are really rich and deep. Yeah. And so, you know, again, there's like 42 cards. Let me show you maybe just like a couple more that are really kind of fun. Here's a witchy one. I co-create the dream life I desire and deserve.
Oh, but yeah, that's so cute.
That's, you know, I call her the witch. You know, she's a little witchy. I love this one. This is like the meditating girl. I evolve in the direction I choose.
So the artwork's just gorgeous.
Thank you. A lot of effort went into it. I'll tell you that. And then here's just the last one I'll share. I free myself from the limitations of my ego so that I can embrace a life of joy and fulfillment. And it's a girl with a beautiful hijab.
Beautiful. And so when you were working with the artist, did you give her the affirmations and did you give a description of what you wanted on it, or like what was that process like?
Yeah, so I brainstormed like the different types of muses, you know, muses that I wanted. Like, well, for example, I was like, oh, I want a girl on the beach enjoying a cocktail. I want a girl in a glamorous dress. I want a girl shopping. I want a girl reading a book, you know, in the park. I want a girl walking her dog. So I kind of gave the theme and I provided the affirmations. And she was so skilled, like she would just start sketching. And then we had many, many Zoom calls. We would meet weekly. And then I'd give real-time feedback as she's sketching, you know, and as she's adding the color. So it was definitely like a, you know, a co-creation between her and I.
That's beautiful. And then did she put the words on the cards, or did you put the cards into Canva and then do the words?
You know, we actually did that letter, what you suggested. Originally, I had given her the affirmations, but she, and I don't know that she still uses the software, but I think it's called like Krita, if I remember correctly. And I don't think she uses it anymore, but it was great, I think, for her to draw. But when it came to actually doing text, it wasn't that friendly. So she suggested, because she knew I used Canva, why don't we import it into Canva? And I knew I was going to import it into Canva anyways, so that I could use it. She goes, why don't we add the affirmation in Canva? And I didn't know how that would work. And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it gives me the ability later, like if I want to fine tune, like if I decide, oh, I'm not really, you know, I want to improve upon that affirmation message, I can. For example, I just this evening translated all my cards into Spanish. So I was able to enter the affirmation on my own, you know, rather than having to outsource that, because now I have it in Canva. I just, you know, replaced the text with the Spanish language. So yeah.
And I think having like multilingual versions, like different language versions, is great because, you know, we live in an English-centric world, right? But Spanish and Chinese, basically, or, you know, Mandarin are the two other most spoken languages. And yeah, I think it'd be lovely. And you're from a Spanish, Hispanic background?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Central America.
Yeah, so it's nice to honor that to your own history. And I think your cards speak to people from diverse backgrounds, which you did very intentionally.
That's right. Yeah, I did really want to be very inclusive.
Yeah. So you're going to release a print version in Spanish?
I think I will. You know, I think right now I literally just released the deck a few days ago, hot off the press. So I am starting in small quantities in English, and I would love for it to take off and then for me to purchase the Spanish deck. Absolutely.
Yes. And I think because you've designed it in such a, I guess, a funky sort of way, it's going to appeal to younger people, which is part of your intention. So I think that's really great. And so you're selling it on Etsy, and are you selling it through anywhere else or just Etsy at the moment?
At the moment, it's just Etsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I ask, who did you print with?
I used Make Playing Cards, MPC.
Yeah, good. Can I just look at the box again then? Because
Yeah.
box looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah, the box is very like professional, and I think the box really does give it, the professional look. And here's the back of the box.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yep.
I show like 4 little thumbnails so that, the person who picks up the box and they can't open the box, they'll kind of get an idea of what's in store, what's inside.
Because sometimes I see
So,
like boxes where the box doesn't give any indication of the artwork style, and then you open it and it's like a really big contrast, whereas that's a nice way to the peek inside model.
yes, absolutely. And, and this is one of the cards. This,
Yes.
I actually just ended up using one of the cards. Yep. Oh, and let me show you the back of the cards. And here's the back.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Nice and simple. And then you flip it over and you've got this whole story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the funny story behind the back is actually my wallpaper in my bedroom was the inspiration. I have wallpaper that I love. So I took the picture and I sent it to the artist. I was like, I want to base the back of the cards on my wallpaper.
It's beautiful. Well, I just want to congratulate you on your deck. It's beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I think I saw it on Instagram first. I'm like, oh, I love that style, that artistic style that you were able to get with that artist. Do you have any tips for people who are working with someone else to design their cards, specifically more artistic people?
Yeah. So, plan for it to be very interactive. Plan to invest time depending on how much say you want. And if it's your first deck, it definitely will take more time. I'm already starting a second deck, but because I've been through it once, I'm kind of figuring out, I'm streamlining. I'm learning ways to be more efficient, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So what would be your one top tip for being more efficient?
Oh my gosh, my one top tip, I will tell you right now, it would be to leave the bottom portion white.
Yeah.
Because there have been times on my card where my message is competing with the background. So in my next deck, I'm just going to leave it all white and then there's no issue.
It does make a big difference because you want it to be readable. And I saw like, you had a bit where it was a white background and then you had white text as well. So then you're having to like do like a shadow or something to make it stand out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we did add a shadow on all the text for that reason.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's one of the newbie things, right? Like you don't necessarily realize. But yeah.
So think about where your text is going to go before you design, so that the design will make it readable.
Absolutely. And at the time I thought, well, you know what, we could put the text up here. We could put, like we could move the text around, but I really like a streamlined look. So I really just preferred at the, originally I thought, oh, well, you know what, it's okay. We'll just put the text wherever there's space. But no, I really like it to be in the same spot on every card, at least for my deck. I know other people can probably make theirs a little bit more interesting with the placement of their text, but for me, it was important that it just be consistent on all the cards. I just thought it looked cleaner that way, more professional.
I'm the same. I like all mine like in a similar spot, and I don't like sort of chaos on the card. I like the synergy between the cards. So yeah, and I think you've done a really good job with that. So is there anything else you would say to anyone just starting out with their card deck design journey that, from what you've learned doing your first deck and starting your second?
Like, just do it. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, because I'll tell you, like, even when the creative process took long, it didn't have to take that long, but I was working with, a younger artist, and we both agreed that school came first. So there were times when, we didn't make much progress. So that's one of the reasons it took long. And also, these are really highly customized. I mean, these are from scratch, right? They're not anything that's copy and paste. These are all one of a kind, like created from scratch. But once I did have the cards, like I got stuck on 2 different things. One is when I ordered my deck from MPC, I felt that the color wasn't as vibrant as I'd like it to be, as it was on the digital. So then I started evaluating other printers, you know, and I did consider Vervante, you know, but the cost for their boxes was like, yeah, what's the word, exorbitantly high. It was like, it wouldn't make any economic sense. So then I was looking at a tuck box, and that doesn't work for me just because they can be flimsy and they could break. You know, I didn't want to do a bag for this particular deck. I'm not opposed to doing a bag, but I didn't want it for this deck. And so that I was kind of stuck in analysis paralysis with that decision for a long time, and kind of exploring the fact that my text did bleed in a little bit also was another thing that, you know, kind of like delayed me. And then one day, like end of, I think it was July, I said, you know what? Sure, it's not perfect, but it's great nonetheless. So I just placed my order, and I'm like so happy, you know, but I could have literally done that probably 5 months ago.
Oh, wow. So that's a long analysis paralysis. And like now, you know, like when you come to the next one, you're not going to get stuck in those same traps, right? You're just going to go, yep,
yeah,
I've been through all that. I'm just going to go with make playing cards. And, you know, that is who I recommend in my program, because they are consistent, and some people are having a bit difference in the color. I didn't have that. So it's interesting. Yeah. So did you do anything to your cards, like brighten them up or anything before reprinting them?
well, the colors just look so vibrant online.
Yeah. So you couldn't make them so bright. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
brighter.
but maybe if I do a reprint, I will try that in Canva. You know, maybe there's a feature where I can brighten it by X%. I don't know. I might try that. But, and you know, in the 5 months, it's not that it took me 5 months to, you know, make 2 or 3 decisions. It's really like, then you kind of lose momentum.
Yes.
Right. And then you kind of deprioritize. And then summer came, and I enjoyed the summer. So it was really after I had all my vacations, I was like, okay, you know, let's get cracking. Let's do this.
Yep, you got remotivated and refocused, and yeah. So I'll share the link as well to your Etsy store. Yeah, it's really gorgeous deck, and I just want to say congratulations, and let me know when the Spanish version comes out too, so I can promote that, because obviously I've mostly worked with people doing English decks, just because I speak English probably, but be great to be able to promote, you know, a Spanish deck as well, and to a different audience. Like, your deck is just so beautiful. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ayesha. And thanks for the support and, you know, your course, your monthly get-togethers, you know, just your support, like altogether. You know, when I found your course, I had already had my cards. I already knew it was going with MPC. And even still, I still found a lot of value in your course. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't it interesting? And I hope you got some inspiration and some tips from listening to this. So if you're interested in making your own card deck, I invite you to check out the Card Deck Creators Toolkit that I've created for people like you who want to create their own inspirational, affirmation, or oracle card deck. There's so many different card decks that you can create. So I invite you to check out the links below to get the toolkit and get on your way creating. And if you've already created your own card deck, congratulations. Share a link below. I'd love to see it. Much love to you, and take care.